Hey guys, it's your girl Rocket and Monica, and this is
hold on.
the
You don't
Gab Fest. Oh, what?
You don't speak for me. I speak for myself. I am an independent woman. I can speak for myself. It's Monica, guys.
But I did that flip on y'all, bitch.
I cannot with y'all.
Didn't that sound like one of those like 90s TV series where it's just like he's just like, my name is Rocket, it's Monica, and this is the Gab. Like being like loud noises.
Now this sounds like some MTV show.
He's like, we about to jump in, guys, on this next music video. I'm like, just stupid shit.
And now we're rambling.
Ramble.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to episode 4 of the Gab Fest podcast. Sorry for the little break we had. We's busy.
We're adults.
Exactly. Adulting is ghetto. I'm gonna just be frank. It really is.
Mad ghetto.
It's so ghetto. I hate it here. I want to go home.
I don't even go here.
So we're sorry for that little break, but we got lives, we got stuff going on. So we'll lead into the first segment and not waste y'all time, which is current news and events we find interesting and want to talk about. All right.
Let me go first.
All right. Be my guest, Rocket.
Walks in all confident and forgets.
Loud and wrong.
Nah, so I don't know if y'all heard, but so in recent news, it's more so funny than I think on more on the serious side. But so Megan Thee Stallion had her hairdresser put fox locks in her hair, right? And it looks good. It's cute on her.
Oh, I think I saw that on Instagram, a picture of that.
Have you seen that? Yeah. So she looks really cute, right? But recently, she's just she's been going on trips or just swimming with the hair and everything. So she's been doing a lot of stuff. So now it's time to go ahead and take it out. So,
oh God,
she gets her hairdresser to come down. She flies him down to get him to take out the fox locks. And tell me why homeboy does not know how to take fox locks out.
Girl, faux locks are not hard to take out. What the fuck?
And that was so it's not fox.
It's faux, Rocket.
Oh. Well, all right. Well,
when it's FAUX, it's faux.
Well, wait, wouldn't that be FO though?
No. That's why when you see coats, it says faux fur.
Oh, do I lose a card for that? Because I feel like I should lose a black card.
Now go sit in the corner and think about your life, Rocket.
But mama. But nah, okay, so faux locks, they're better, Monica.
Hey, don't look at me. It's the comment section that's judging you.
Fuck y'all. No, but okay, so faux locks. So he doesn't know how to take them out, and neither does she. So it's he had to pretty much her thing was, you need to figure this out because I don't know how to take them out, and you don't know how to take them out. Figure it out. So she's all mad at him. He's flying down. And he's just like, I don't want her mad at me. What do y'all think I should do? Because he's on his story saying, what do y'all think I should do? I don't know how to take these out. And she mad and everything like that. And then I'm back on the plane now because, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to tell her. And I'm just and she pretty much said in her story, if you don't just go on YouTube, and figure it out with that and then take them out, because I guess her thing is I don't got time to be doing it myself, you do it. So long story short, she mad as hell.
No offense, girl, but I don't know if I want a stylist who don't. First of all, how the frick are you a stylist that knows how to put something in but can't take it out? That's already sus in itself.
And that's my thing. I feel I think for her that was already kind of like a hell no after that, because I mean I don't know how bad this is, you know, because it was very jokey back and forth, but also I can tell there's like a part of her that's obviously really pissed off, because it's just like, I'm ready for a new look, ready to get like a, you know, a cute wig installed, and it's just, I can't do that because you don't know how to take these out, but you put them in like you're all confident about it. And I feel like as the hairstylist, it's like, if you don't know how to get something out, then you probably shouldn't have put it in her head in the first place and said, hey, I know how to do it, I don't know how to take them out. You know.
Look, Megan, well, you know, this ain't even live, so damn it. But Megan, whenever you hear this, if you need somebody to take that shit out, just call me. It's not hard. I got you.
Yeah, that's true. Because I mean, and I've never had them before. I think, did you have them before, Monica?
I haven't, but I wanted to get it done, and like I've thought about doing them on myself. So I've seen how to do it and how to take it out. I know how to take them out. It's not hard.
So, and that was my thing, and I'm just like, you put in all this other stuff in her hair, and I'm like,
Megan, I don't know if I would want his. I don't know if I would want his hands in your hair no more, because she's been on a natural hair journey, and her hair's been looking real good. I don't know if I want him coming around messing that up, and he don't know what he's doing.
And honestly, I feel like what's funny is that if he's back on the plane, you know, flying back to wherever he's going to, I feel like, long story short, she probably gonna get somebody else to be doing her hair. That's my theory on it.
I would.
Yeah, because I'm like, no.
How do you not know how to uninstall? Wow. Okay.
But that's my thing. But I feel like something like that is simple. You know, because I even looked at it myself and I was like, that looks like that's pretty easy to get.
From what I saw, it looked like she has like butterfly faux locks. Which all she would have to do, and they didn't even look crocheted in. It looked like they did it like the way that I like it, the old school way, which is just wrapping the fake hair around like a braid or whatever.
Yeah, braid.
So it's like all she would have to do is just like first distinguish what's the fake hair, snip it, and then just start unraveling, and then like take out the braid or twist or whatever that it was to like start it.
See, and that's my thing. I'm like, because that's I knew it had to been that simple, because I'm just like, I don't understand that. How do you? Well, okay. Anyway, long story short, guys, be careful who you have as your hairdresser.
You know,
doing your hair, because at the end of the day, you only got one fucking head. So let's just just take that into consideration.
Natural hair is one of our segments later on in this podcast, so we'll be talking a little bit more about hair.
Oh yeah.
And I have some news that has been coming to attention in the media that I thought it'd be interesting to get everybody's take on. I don't know if you've been hearing this, Rocket, but the whole showering debate.
Oh wait, is this whole like the Ashton Kutcher thing?
Yep, so it's like the Jake Gyllenhaal and the Mila and Ashton Kutcher thing, where they say they don't shower every day.
I wish they would have kept that to
everybody is so divided on the internet, so I just wanted to get your opinion on that. What do you think of that whole thing?
I'm gonna be real honest with you, all of you. Okay.
I know. I'm gonna get real with y'all too. I'm gonna be frank.
Wash your ass. All right. Now hear me out for a second. Depending on what you're doing, let's say for example, you've been laying around the house all day. Like, okay, you may not have to take a shower that day. That's up to you. That's me. But if you've been out and about, like, okay, today, I've been out and about, walking around where I've been walking around. I took a shower because I've been sweating. It's hot. It's nasty. Even when I'm at work, I take a shower after work. Even when I go to the gym. Now, look, you should be taking a shower after you come back from the gym, because you stink. You've been using stuff. You stink, okay? You smell like ass. And I say this in the sense of, you are musty. Like, you know, it's different with kids who haven't hit puberty or nothing like that. So they don't be, I mean, they smell like outside. You can stink, but you get my point. They have a different kind of
that's not
Still
like
wash
adult
your
funk.
kids, but you get my point. Wash your kids, okay? But because they're, you know, most time kids are outside all day having a good time. So yeah, you really should wash them, especially if they've been, you know, because kids, they eat food, they get all over themselves. Wash your kids and wash your ass as well, okay? So, but my thing on it is, like I said in the beginning, if you've been at home all day, you really haven't gone out, you haven't really been like sweating or nothing like that, I'm willing to be like, okay, fine, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I think when you start hitting past day 2, 3 of being at home, you need to, I say around day 2 usually is when I go ahead and take a shower. Because even if I haven't been doing anything, I've also been sitting in the same clothes all day. So eventually I am gonna stink. Like, even if I haven't been sweating in it, I'm still gonna stink. So that's my opinion on it. I don't know about you, Monica, but that's...
Honestly, your stance is pretty much where I'm at with that whole thing. Like, if you've been chilling or haven't done anything to break a sweat and you still smell fine, then sure, you could skip a day. Why not? Yeah. My rule is, if your ass stink, if you can smell yourself, or you just don't be a dirty ass.
Oh, you know what, Monica? Nah. What y'all need to do, especially y'all females, do the squat test. You're gonna take off. No, just get butt ass naked. Take your clothes off, right? Squat down and just squat down. Trust me, squat down. If your coochie stank, if you can smell your ass, go take a shower, okay? Like, that's an easy sign right there. Aside from, like, you know, smelling your armpit, like, that's pretty easy to do. But if you really want to know if your ass is stinking, do the squat test.
That's like, okay, so me,
you know what I'm talking about, right? You know when you squat down.
Yeah, so like, okay, for example, because I was thinking about this ish even yesterday. So like, me and like one of my friends, like after work, we decided to go to like an exotic paint night. So basically, like, we were like painting and there were strippers there.
Exotic.
And okay, so first of all, ignore you. So first of all, these dudes were running around butt ass naked while we're painting, and all these girls are hollering.
Were they even cute?
So we were painting.
Is that a no? Like, oh my god.
I mean, if we're talking from the neck down, sure.
Oh my god. Okay,
but anyway,
Monica, go ahead.
I mean, some were decent, but no.
They weren't taking it home for you.
No. And so, like, these guys were, like, getting all into, like, giving girls lap dances and, like, sticking their faces in places and all this other stuff.
Oh, what if I farted? Oh, anyway.
And so, all I was thinking, and same with my friend and the girls we sat at the table with, they were really cool girls. And all we were thinking is, like, look, I got 8 hours on my cooch. I had an 8-hour work day today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know damn well some of these women, because these guys were sticking their faces like in your crotch. I know damn well some of these girls.
It be that 8-hour coochie that really be taking bitches.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Serious.
I know I got 8 hours on mine, and I went home and freshened up before I came.
Mm-hmm.
I know damn well some of these girls is putting in more mileage than I had. And oof,
yeah, I drink to that.
Oof. Moral of the story is, don't be a dirty ass. When your ass stink, take a shower. If you think your ass stinks, take a shower.
And we're not
shit. You can even take a hoe bath. I didn't know they were called hoe baths until I got older. Take a hoe bath if you have to.
Wait a minute. You talking about fucking bird baths?
Wait. What?
What's a hoe? Wait, okay, what's a hoe?
Are you
bath?
seriously? Did you seriously call it a bird bath? No, I'm laughing if this is what you call it. So you know, like a sink bath where you fill up the sink. Well, you call it bird baths, bro.
Yes.
They call them hoe baths. I'm not even kidding.
I've been hearing bird bath for the longest time.
Bro,
no one's ever
after this
corrected
whole
me.
thing have gotten done, I've been seeing the internet and everybody calling it hoe baths.
What did you call it before?
I just call them sink showers.
You know, I've never heard sink shower, but I've heard like bird bath or like, you know, that's what I've been hearing for the longest time, even when I was little.
See, me and my mom used to call them sink showers, but then I got older and the people are like, no, those are called hoe baths. And I'm like, well, damn. So I'm a hoe then. Shit. At least my shit smell right, so whatever.
My mom, or what another thing my mom would call it, go hit the hot spots.
Exactly, that's what you do. And you do it in this order: face, pits, cooch, ass.
Yep.
You never start ass first and then wipe your face with that cloth.
Yeah, no. He don't regrets.
No, please don't. Oof.
Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. The booty be stinking the most.
Exactly. Lord have mercy.
But yeah.
Well, that leads us into a segment numero dos. All right. So there's always tomorrow, but today we're feeling ugly. We're talking about feeling unattractive.
How do we go from washing ass?
I mean, if you don't wash your ass, you probably do feel unattractive.
Especially if you
I know
like
I would.
Like, especially when you've been like not clean and you got that dry stank, so like you really know you want to
Shit, even on my period, and I done taken like 5 showers, I still be feeling gross and unattractive. Ugh. So, Rocket, what does feeling ugly mean to you?
No,
I feel like what happens to make you feel ugly?
Oh, like for me is like when my face breaks out. Usually that's when my period's coming around. Like it can get pretty bad depending on the period. Like each period's different. Bloating, my hair's not acting right. Maybe I might have messed it up, or especially when my hair was longer, like
didn't get a good night's sleep.
Didn't get a good night's sleep. You know, just bullshit. Like you got bags on your eyes or some shit, or maybe like, oh fuck, my eyeliner's out. Like so now you feel like my face ain't even right.
Yup.
So I feel like feeling ugly equates to anything that went wrong the night before or even the morning is like, if your day is already starting off shitty, then you already kind of feel ugly in that sense, especially if you got like, you know, you had a cute outfit, that outfit looks like shit on you now.
Yeah, like everything you put on feels like shit. The weather's bad and it's like, oh fuck.
A friend canceled plans, so whoever dude you were gonna see at the club ain't there. No, it's just shit.
Well, for me that's a win. I'm an introvert where the friend's like, oh, sorry, I can't make it. I'm like, oh, dang, okay. And me, I'm like, yes.
Order pizza.
Yep, I can stay in my PJs. Lord have mercy. I'm trying to think, is there anything else that makes me feel ugly? That's pretty much the gist. It's just like, usually it's shit that I can't control, or it's just like, you know, like Venus and Jupiter are in a line, and it's just like, yeah, you just feel ugly today.
I mean, I would say if you got deeper into it, and maybe this is a question for you, Monica, but like, has anyone ever made you feel unattractive? Like a friend, guy?
No. I've only gotten called ugly once in my whole lifetime, and I didn't even take it seriously because she was literally, the girl who said this was literally just saying this because she was mad because she found out her boyfriend liked me and was about to dump her.
Oh. Well,
yeah. So she was just saying that out of like, you know, just her being pissed, and I'm like, girl, whatever. I didn't even want her boyfriend.
I would say I don't know if this equates into being unattractive, but okay, I guess for me, it made me feel shitty afterwards. I guess it would kind of equate, but I had an ex-boyfriend who, told me, like, and as a heads up for everybody, like, this is kind of hitting on more of a racist topic, unfortunately, but he pretty much told me to my face, like, as I asked him one time, why didn't it work out between us? And he pretty much said, "You're not dark enough for me." And it hurt in other ways. It also made me feel like, at the time, because I was younger, like, not good enough, or just feeling unattractive, but in another way, like, I can't meet his, but I don't know. Looking back on it now, it was just like, so I was pretty much a fetish for you, if you really think about it.
Which, that's a topic we definitely gonna talk about one day. We
gonna hit on that on a
because I got a whole mountain hill of shit to talk about that.
But I really had a guy tell me that, and yeah, it was a white dude, if anyone's wondering. But I mean that's kind of a dirt.
I mean, look, I don't know, shit. Black people be ignorant too.
That's true, yeah. But it's just like, for him, it was "You're not dark enough for me," because he had this, in my opinion, fetish for Black women, and I didn't know that until after, we had broken things off.
This is just a public service announcement with this. Mm-hmm. Anybody out there, if you ever say some shit like that, just know you're gonna get jumped. Yeah, you are going to get curb stomped. Don't ever say that to anybody. Whatever community you say that about, they will find you and they will kill you, or at least beat the shit out of you.
But I'd say for me, if it had to hit into unattractive, it definitely messed up my self-esteem a little bit, because it was just like, wow, like that. But also too, I think it was at the end of the day, it was backhanded, but it hurt my feelings, because I was like, wow, that was the only reason you were with me. So I guess you could look at that as like a feeling unattractive, or not feeling like you're good enough. And I think that those two, at least in my opinion, do play hand in hand.
Yeah, it definitely does. Because if people say that to you, and unfortunately when people say that to you a lot, that really takes a toll. But then when it's somebody you care about, or at least think you care about, says that shit, it hurts.
It really does. And at the time, I actually did care about the person deeply. And it just, I wanted it to work. But like I said, looking back on it, I'm obviously really glad it didn't, because...
Good, because he looked like the leprechaun from the scary movie Leprechaun, so I'm glad you learned your lesson, and you're with the person you're with now.
I'm with the person that I'm with now, so I definitely... Younger Raquel, no.
See?
Just no, honey.
Which I guess since we talked about being younger like that, I guess this kind of leads me into, like, we can talk about this. So it's like... So, like, there's feeling ugly, and then there's just, like, an ugly phase. Like, going through puberty. Just, ooh. Like, some people definitely had it rougher than others. I feel like both of ours wasn't bad.
Yeah, because I had my moments, growing up, because a lot of my... I guess what you would consider feeling unattractive hit into I have really thick eyebrows. And now, what's so funny about it is now, like, everybody wants thick eyebrows, you know what I mean? So that's the funny
I never
part
liked them little pin drawn eyebrows. I've always hated them.
I don't even know why I did that. I remember just looking back on, like, old, like, high school pictures, it'd be like a huge cringe.
Okay.
I was like, ooh, okay. But yeah, I'd say around elementary school, middle, like, my eyebrows were really thick. And another thing that kind of, I guess you could say, made me feel unattractive was my hyperhidrosis, which we'll also talk about that in another podcast as well, just if anybody, deals with that. But to explain what hyperhidrosis is, and nobody knows what it is just it's an excessive amount of sweating in certain parts of your body. It can be your hand, feet, underarms, really anywhere that accumulates sweat, face, is just excessive sweating. So especially around the puberty years, for me, it was hands, feet, mostly just hands and feet, and or underarms for sure, because puberty was hell on earth for me, and that really made me feel unattractive because I mean it was so bad. I still sweat now, but it's not because I don't even sweat like I used to under my arms now that I'm like older. I still sweat on my hands and feet, but it is, I tell people this all the time, it is nowhere near as bad as it was when I was younger. I mean, my mom felt so bad, and I felt kind of ugly at times because of it. I try to be positive, like, well, you know, at least I have hands and feet, you know, at least like, you know, I'm able to kind of still do what I want to do sort of sometimes. But, you know, I definitely had like people make fun of me for it. But you feel, you know, that's having something I guess you would consider different about you makes you feel unattractive. And that's the way I looked at it.
Especially because when you're that age, it's like, you know, all you want to do is fit in when you're that age. Like, you haven't built up the, like, self-esteem or, like, self-knowledge to be like, you know what, fuck what these people are doing. I'm gonna do what I want to do. Like, when you're that age, you just want to fit in and feel quote-unquote normal.
Yeah.
And then you get older and realize normal, there is no normal.
And there isn't. I mean, you learn that as you get older that, you know what, I'm happy with myself. But, you know, like I said, especially between me and Monica, it's like, even though my confidence has gotten better over the years, I still have those ugly days. I feel like every woman does, where you just feel like, feel like doo-doo.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that's gonna help me not feel like doo-doo. There's little things, you know, that you can kind of help, but I mean, I have days where like people could be trying everything, or I could be trying anything to make myself feel a little bit better, but it's just like, I just have those days where I feel like shit, so
Oh yeah. I'm just trying to think with me, like, when I was, like, going through, like, the whole puberty, like, there weren't, I can't really think of, like, I felt like I was ugly. It was definitely more so I felt awkward. Like, because, like, I definitely had a sweating problem, too. I don't have hyperhidrosis. I was just fucking sweaty. I was just fucking, like, just a faucet when I was going through puberty. And I'm trying to think, I guess the only other thing I could think of that was like quote unquote ugly, even though I didn't think it was ugly, like I had braces the end of high school, early college. So,
I kind of thought braces were kind of cool, personally.
I was just, I was a weird kid, and I'm a weird adult now. Like, I'm a true Libra. Like, I be indifferent on so much shit. Like, it's like not even funny. Because it's like back then, it is, because like back then, like, I don't know, it's weird. Like, and even talking about it now is like weird now that I'm putting it in words. It's like I almost had this like kind of almost disconnect with like my body and stuff like that. Whereas like I just didn't even think about it nor cared really until I got like older. College is probably when I really started caring, like, because by the time college happened, like my body had like done such a huge change in terms of like shape. Like in school, like high school, especially like early mid-high school, I went from like a cheese board, like from being like a flat Stanley and like no curves or anything at all, to like my boobs. Yeah, like my boobs went up 2 sizes, like my waist went in, my hips went out, my back arched more. So it was like, I felt like I could get more in touch with like myself and my body and what like I thought of myself. Like I felt like I had more freedom to do that versus like high school.
Yeah, because you got that like runner's ass.
Shut up. But also, I have been hitting the gym and working on my squat game, so that runner's ass has been definitely changed. That's for damn sure. I definitely been getting more attention with my ass lately now, and I'm like, woo, these leg presses is working. But like,
oh, madam, may I get that number? Thy number.
It is like my butt's got way more shape and jiggle to it lately, and I'm just like, oh shit. And that's the only way I can get an ass. Thanks, mom. But like, I don't know. It's kind of like, and we'll probably talk about this more in depth on another podcast too, but like, that's kind of when I've learned the difference between like, because I've always thought like I was like pretty. Like I never thought I was ugly. Like I have ugly days, but not like an ugly like mindset. But it's like that's kind of like as an adult is when I was just like, okay, I feel pretty, but I haven't found my like sex appeal yet. And that was a journey on its own, because it's like I felt like I was pretty, but I didn't feel like I was sexy, because I felt like I was just such an awkward robot anytime I tried to do anything sexy. And then it's just like I start doing some things, and it was just like bam, there it is.
I'm just like, I came back extra.
What the? Not some weird horn dog, but
yeah, like Monica came back with the extra butter sauce.
What the? I cannot with you. But like how Stella got her groove back, Monica got her groove back.
Wait, so you messing around with young men?
What the?
Like a cougar?
No.
You're telling the audience?
No.
All right, guys, be careful. Monica's a cradle robber.
I don't even think I've dated a younger man, for your information. Everybody I've dated was older.
Okay, Monica, it's fine.
I mean, not much. We're not talking grandpa status.
Okay, Monica.
Like, unless
I'm gonna just drink my drink.
Look, unless your name is Bill Gates or whatever the dude's name is who runs Amazon, like
I don't know.
I forget his name that fast, but like, unless you're that kind of old man or Hugh Hefner, who like type guy.
No. You said Well, what about Leo?
I don't consider him old. I consider him a nice, like a aged wine.
Brandy.
Like, yeah, like he's not old. He's like aged to perfection.
He's like good cheese.
Yeah, he's not grandpa status.
No, he's not. He's delicious.
Which we got off topic.
Sorry. When we get into Leo, we get real like.
Man. All right, well, I guess back to it. So what are some things? What are some things that you do personally to like kind of get you out of that feeling ugly funk?
For me, and this is gonna sound real funny, like sometimes like I'll just throw on an upbeat song and I'll legit just start dancing like in my room or downstairs when no one's home. Like that's a good way to kind of get me like in a good mood. I'll be like, I'm going to dance. God damn it. I'm like, couldn't get out of this funk. Or like another thing that I might do that maybe if you don't feel the want to be dancing in your home like that. But another thing is I like going like walking around my neighborhood that I live in. Just to kind of clear my head a little bit, especially if I'm feeling like down like that.
Oh yeah.
Even just putting on some makeup is kind of just a good way to boost up my, I wouldn't say self-esteem is the word, but just, boosting me
Make
up
you
a
feel
little
better.
bit.
Yeah.
Make you feel better. So like I'll sometimes like, cause there's days where I leave the house and I don't put on makeup because I just don't feel like doing it because I'm like, ooh, looking delicious today. But then there's other times where if I am in kind of a mood, then that's where I'll definitely dive into my makeup and just, I might go a little extra with the makeup that day because I'm feeling shitty.
Yeah, that's kind of how I am too.
Yeah, like I'd say the last thing for me would be just getting in my car, going to like a nearby cafe, maybe a like library, but it's a nice way for me to just get out of the house because sometimes I can be in the house way too long, and it kind of almost puts me in a bigger funk.
Yeah.
Just depending on how bad it is. But yeah, that's just my way of kind of just boosting myself back up, especially if I'm feeling, unattractive, or if I'm like feeling unattractive and I'm in a bit like a really bad mood.
Yeah, that's kind of like with me. Like, whenever I do feel like, first of all, when I do feel ugly, like, I always tell myself, which is, it's true to anybody watching, this is so true. Ugly is a state of mind. It's never a state of being. Like, you're not ugly.
Well, wait, Monica, before we start telling people that.
Wow. Rocket, beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Okay.
Because there's been some people who I personally don't find attractive, but they getting all the punani.
I don't know. You be seeing some of these fish people out here. I'm not. Nah, I agree with Monica. Yes, beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Yes, and ugly is a state of mind. It's not a state of being. So, just the fact that I know that feeling will pass. Rocket's so mean. So mean out there. Like, that in itself helps me.
Sorry.
You're an awful person, and now the people of the world can see that. Awful. Shame. Finger of shame.
Not really. Okay, continue.
But like, on days that I do feel like that, like, I will like force myself to wear like my favorite outfit and like make sure my hair is really good, my makeup's really good. Like those days where I'm just like, I am not feeling it and I feel gross, that's when I try to go the hardest. Because at least for me, sometimes when like my outward appearance like that looks better, like it makes me feel better inside. Like I'll pamper myself. I'll take like a nice bath, like with some candles, some incense and stuff like that. I'll go on a walk or go to the gym. I'll meditate. Like just a lot of self-care too, to pamper yourself, to like kind of just show you are worth it and you're not ugly. So I recommend doing that.
Agreed.
So, moral of this story, guys, is everybody feels ugly sometimes, but you're not. You're not.
Everybody's ugly sometimes.
So me. Alright, well, I guess we can go on to segment 3 then. Which is, they're the girls who came before you. We're talking about your boyfriend's exes. Ooh, we snog.
We snog.
Okay, Rocket.
No
so.
snoo. Oh, sorry. Okay.
Question.
Yes.
So, what do you consider as like your boyfriend's ex? Like, is it like somebody that they were actually dating, or do you like consider
that
people
dusty ass bitch who thought?
But do you also consider like romantic interests that like he just didn't fulfill, but like had feelings for in the past, but they didn't date? Do you consider that next?
I'm gonna finish what I was getting riled up about. That dusty ass bitch who thought he had a chance with my man.
What the? Well, I mean, why are you so mean to her, though? I mean, she kind of did you a service. She freed up a guy.
Yeah. She's still dusty, though.
Awful.
Nah, I'm messing. Nah, I feel like what you just said, it's like, kind of, they're like, I feel like the boyfriend's exes are always, they're ex for a reason. It's just like, that's they the practice one, before you start getting into that real prime A, woman.
What the
heck? But that what you just said, I'll just agree to that.
See, because like, what the heck? Well, my original question is what you consider an ex. For me,
cut it. Like what?
Like for me, it's like anybody that like they used to date, anybody they had feelings for in the past, even if they didn't date.
But it didn't work.
Well, for example, what if, for example, you were with somebody who had a crush on somebody but just didn't, pursue it.
Because there was me?
Well, no, just because they just couldn't work up the nerve to.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate, isn't it?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, do you consider that like an ex?
Nah, I don't. That because you didn't, it never turned into a relationship. I feel like to be considered an ex is like kind of you need to have like some kind of relationship with them to be like, oh hey, we were boyfriend and girlfriend. Whereas it's someone who you had a crush on, or someone.
See,
had a crush
for me,
on you.
I consider that an ex.
Well, that sounds dumb.
Okay, so for example, if you were with somebody and it's like, oh, well, I just never got a chance to ask this person out because either A, I couldn't work up the nerve, or like they were already taken but I still low key want them, or that's in like at least pushed in the back of my head.
Oh no, that sounds like friend zone.
Not really.
I mean, not really, but that sounds more like a crush than I would say an ex.
Okay, so if your man had a thing for Stephanie, but for whatever reason just couldn't ask her out or didn't ask her out, and she saw you guys at a restaurant and was like, oh, hi, who's your friend? Would you be salty with her? Even though
no.
he has or had feelings for her at one point and may low-key still do.
Well, then why the fuck we together?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Would you consider her a threat?
I mean, unless he like told me he's like, yeah, he used to have feelings for her, but not anymore, then I'd be like, I wouldn't see her as a threat.
Yeah, but we all know niggas lie.
Monica. For me, I kind of feel like crushes and exes are two different things.
I see your point.
You still get mad, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, you still kind of salty.
Yeah.
Like if my man was just like if he's just like, oh, hey Steph, I'd be like, what's wrong with you?
Or even if it was
or not to cut you off, but like, I stand by that whole thing of I'm not mad at the girl. I'm mad at my man. Like, I don't know if you ever seen those girls who be getting real salty with the girl, and I'm like, for what?
Or even if it was like that friend of his, like he's friends with a girl, but like has like deep down kind of had feelings for her, but just never like did. Again, even her, I would be a little like,
Well, and that's my thing. Is like, but I feel like, and we've had this conversation before.
Check out our other podcast.
Should you be mad at the girl? Because I feel like you really should be kind of side-eyeing your dude. Like, yeah, I'm salty with the situation, but I'm mad at you because you acting real different.
I would kind of be mad at both, honestly, in that situation.
You think so?
I say that only because...
You know what, though? You're right. Because if the girl's getting all close, yeah, okay, fair.
Well, I say that, and like, maybe I'm pushing, like, the way I would handle situations on, like, how other people should handle it, but, like, if, say, for example, like, I had a guy friend, and I knew he liked me at some point, whether he still did or not, whatever... That already would, like, have me put some distance anyway. But then when I have guy friends who get girlfriends, I know how girls can be. So it's like, I know how to act. I do not cross any... Well, first of all, I don't cross lines anyway, but I pay close attention to not. But then also, too, like, if I had a guy who was, like... I told him, like, he was interested in me. I told him I didn't feel that same way. Let's just be friends. But he was still, like, low-key trying to be like, oh, well, maybe if I get to know her, I can kind of woo her. Kind of almost like some damn Haida shit from, like, Agretzko. If anybody watched that, like, anime on Netflix, check it out. It's a good one.
Recommend.
Yeah. But if it's, like, even if you were on some, like, Haida shit... I would kind of be mad because it's like, you're not respecting my wishes. Like, I said I don't have feelings for you. We agreed to be friends, but apparently you couldn't take that. You're still trying to think I can win you back. Like,
yeah, because, bro, season 2 and 3, Lord.
I'm like, bro, like, you're not respecting my wishes. And at this point, maybe we just shouldn't be friends until you've gotten over me. So maybe we just shouldn't talk.
And that I agree with. Like, that's something I definitely agree with on that one.
Yeah, because I'm just like, I'm not trying to have no heifer key my car because yo ass can't control your feelings.
Well, I have a question for you, Monica.
Sure.
Have you ever dated a guy where they told you that, like, their ex-girlfriend was really crazy, or just like maybe the jealous type, or just like clearly?
Yes, and I immediately stop talking to them when they say that. And the reason I say that, and this is some shit I've learned with age and with wisdom and from speaking with elders and people who know this shit, and it is so true. If you're dating somebody and they tell you, like, when you're like, oh, well, like, how was your ex or whatever, and he goes, oh my god, she was so crazy, she did da. In my mind, that is a huge red flag. And the reason I say that is just because I've gotten older and, like, been through some shit and learned some shit, and I've realized, like, women don't just go quote-unquote crazy over a guy for nothing. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some crazy ones out here that are, like, the outliers, but 9 times out of 10, if a girl is acting quote-unquote crazy over a guy, it's because the guy is doing something. He's giving out dog treats or leaving, like, breadcrumbs for her. Because women don't just usually do all that for a guy that they know they don't like.
Bro,
like, don't like him.
I got something for you then.
Like, Lord have mercy, what?
So I would say with this situation, I definitely feel like this was one of those girls who were just kind of on that outline of it.
Which at the same time too, if your girl's crazy, then why the fuck did you date them and you knew they were crazy? That says something about you too.
Look, anyway, so I ain't gonna speak on that, but at least from what I know, thinking about boyfriend with ex, one girl I want to say would just be jealous of everybody, even if he was saying, like, hi to them or just, like, anything. It would just be like, because her big thing was the attention needs to be on me at all times. And I'm like, what the fuck? So pretty much you could have, like, his professor would come up and be like, oh, like, hey, such and such, how you doing? And then came back around and was just like, hey, you're was that your girlfriend that was with you? I'm like, yeah. They gave me, like, a real mean ass side eye when I walked off. I don't know what that was about. I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Again, my question to this guy is, she ain't get like that overnight. So you did that to your damn self, if that's the point. Because that's the kind of behavior that don't just pop out of nowhere. If she was actually crazy, that you saw that from the beginning and you ignored it.
Yeah.
Because people don't be doing that type of shit. No.
Or, like, even being, like, I've seen some girls who be, like, jealous of, like, the relationship that, I guess, like, mother and son relationships or something. I don't even, unless it's, like, one of those, mommy's boys.
And that's what I was about to say. I was like, no, that is a very depending on, because, like, I've definitely, like, had some mama's boys who I've had to cut because it was just like, do you want to fuck your mom? Because this is what it seems like.
Whereas, like, if you're just hey, I'm just spending time with my, like, mom for the day, and they get mad over that, it's like, bro.
And again, that behavior usually just doesn't pop out of nowhere. So it's like, if you did happen to get one of the, like, 0.9% that are crazy, it's because you ignored some red flags.
And, like, honestly, like, even, I mean, I know we ain't really speaking on the ex-boyfriends in this segment, I've done that shit where I ignore the dumb shit. I think I actually spoke about it in like maybe like a previous podcast, but like I've done that where I ignore the signs of, oh, this dude's crazy.
See?
I'm like, something's wrong with him. So yeah, I get it, you know what I mean? But also too, it's kind of like you knew from the beginning, so why do it?
Yeah, it's like, you can't like see a red flag in the ground and pick it up and think it's gonna turn into a white flag. Like, if it's a red flag, you need to leave it in the ground where you found it.
And some people, like I said, like myself, or like, I'll even speak on this, like, even like who I'm dating now, like we've both had toxic relationships where you kind of knew from the beginning like something was up with the person, but you ignored the signs. So then it's kind of like at the end of the day, it really is on you because you allowed it to get like that. And you didn't speak up and say, I'm done, or I can't do this, or why did you even let it get that far?
Yeah, my mom and grandma always used to tell me, like, it takes two to make a relationship work, and it takes two to make a relationship not work.
Yep.
Like, you can't be in a relationship by yourself.
Excuse me if I burped just now.
Gross.
It was giving me indigestion talking about exes.
See, which question?
Yes.
So how much information do you think that you should know about your boyfriend's ex or whoever's ex?
I would say at least tell me the basics. Like you ain't got to go into detail. Like, oh yeah, I stuck my dick in her on this night of October, blah blah blah. This year, I don't need to know all that. I don't need to know the little details like that. But I feel like at least the basic of your ex, but you don't really gotta go into like the deep parts of it, unless I'd say. Unless you wanted to, I guess if we were like freshly dating, that could be a good way for me to kind of see if there is any red flags. But I don't know. Like, what do you think?
And see, for me, I'm such like, I don't know. It's like, to me, it's like, unless you were like, you told me you were married or like have kids, like, I honestly don't ask about your ex.
Yeah,
I just don't
I feel like
care.
It kind of just comes up, but
like if you want to share with me, sure. But honestly, I don't care because I'm just like, that's who you dated in the past. Like, unless it's some shit that's relevant to right now. Like, for example, like, oh yeah, like me and my ex, both of us were on like a freaking bank robbing spree, like on some Bonnie and Clyde shit.
We did some meth, together, but not anymore. I'm like, what?
Like, other than shit like that, I personally just don't care. Like, I'm not intimidated by people's exes, honestly.
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm kind of like, about it as well, too. I know I said I kind of don't mind knowing the basics, but I mean, I'd say in the past, I definitely used to ask about exes and stuff, whereas I think, if I'm thinking for like recent, with the guy I'm dating now, I don't think I ever really asked that much. I think it just kind of came up in conversations, but it was never like, tell me about one of the first people like you ever. I mean, I probably asked at one point, but not like, I don't know.
I'm trying to think. Have I ever like dated somebody and like, yeah, I don't think I've ever asked. Like, I mean, there's the one time I went on a date, which if y'all want to hear a story time, freaking shit, we can do that. Where I freaking went on a date, homeboy was like married and like, and wifey.
Yeah, you did tell me about that.
Yeah, that's a. Maybe one day we'll do like a story time podcast of stuff.
Crazy shit.
Cause that was the only time I was like face to face with an ex like that. Otherwise, But I feel like too, like some women, it's like they ask like a lot of stuff about their ex because it's like they're kind of low key insecure either about their relationship or like themselves. It's like, was she better in bed than me? Was she like prettier than me? Did she do this? Like, you know, I feel like some of that is like an insecurity type thing. Otherwise,
I never did that.
Like I just don't care about that hoe.
I mean, now I will say this, especially around my like high school, kind of almost like college years, like, because I definitely was dealing with some insecurities and trust issues, so I was asking like certain questions like that. So to be fair, but I'd say as I've gotten older, like that hasn't really been like, oh, were they better kissers? Or, you know, did they, you know, I didn't care about that stuff anymore. It wasn't.
Like, I'm not gonna bring up your ex unless it's some shit where it's like, you told me your ex name was Suzanne, and I look on your caller ID, like your phone rings, and I look at the caller ID, and it's Suzanne calling. I'd be like,
why is she calling?
That's the only time I'd be like, the fuck?
The fuck is this? You know, or if it's just something that came, like, where you know, I don't know if it was brought up or if there's a topic or something where, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Nah,
but
again,
other than
I just
that,
don't bring them up. I just don't care. And I
don't want to know about that cringy time.
And I'm just trying to think, like, I've only had like 2 guys who were like really, really interested in like my past dating history and stuff, and I'm just like, which
they want to know if you put it down, Monica.
Look, my dating history is literally like a pamphlet of like 2-3 pages. Like, it's not long. Like, you can read that shit fast. It's like a children's book where it's like 3 words on like each page. Like, you can finish.
Oh my god.
Like, you can finish
in the hat.
Like, I have more crazy dating stories than like relationship stories. Like, I haven't been in like serious relationships, like not that many. Whereas
he
like
had fat back.
Whereas like my dating history. What the fuck? So it's just like I've had like 2 guys. One of them really was like really like damn near trying to like investigate where these guys were and stuff like that. I'm like, bro, I don't even know. I don't even know, bro. Shit.
But
so why do you
care that much? I'm like, you know,
like he was just like so like, and I definitely thought he felt insecure, and he thought that like if she tells me about them and I figure out that I'm better than them, then I'll feel better about myself. And it's like, bro.
And some people are like that, where it's just like, oh well, you know, did you like them more than, you know,
was his dick bigger than mine? Was this? And I'm just like, bro.
You know, did they throw that ass in a circle better than me? You know, just dumb shit. I mean, and it's just, some of it is just like curiosity, but then I think some of it also, like we said, Monica, hits into insecurity, and maybe those play hand in hand, honestly.
Yeah, I cannot. Which another question for you.
I have answers.
How would you feel if your boyfriend compared you to an ex? You ever been on relations like that where it's like, oh, well, you know, you do this, well, my ex used to do this, and she used to do it this way or whatever.
Yeah, I wouldn't be staying with the one that I'm with now if that was a thing, so, but definitely past relationships,
I wish a bitch would.
have done that, because it's also, and this really hits back into self-esteem, which we talked about that in a past podcast.
You know, we were young and dumb.
Young and dumb,
and we were still figuring shit out. So it's like for me, I would definitely say, when my self-esteem was shitty, like I definitely had, you know, ex-boyfriends compare me to their exes. Like, oh, well, you know, she did this for me, you know, or like, yeah, like she was really pretty and everything, you know, but, you know, she broke up with me though, you know, and I was just,
and I really wanted to. It just really.
Just hearing, not even just from this podcast, but like from other podcasts where we've talked about stuff, and you were telling me some of like the, unfortunately, like toxic relationships you've been in, is another reason why I wish so much we were like European schools, where it's like they have sex education, but you know, in America it's the don't have sex talk. Whereas like in Europe, they teach you about not only like contraception and all that, but like what healthy relationships are supposed to look like and what they're supposed to be. And I'm like, so many people that would have benefited over this whole abstinence bullshit they'd be like driving down your throat in schools. Like, I wish, because some people really don't know. Because it's like, people don't come with like toxic symbols with like a skull and crossbones on their forehead, like stay away. It's like, you gotta like figure that out. And especially when you're young and new to relationships and stuff like that, you don't know that this isn't okay and that's okay and this is how you're supposed to be treated and talk. Like, some of that is really gray area to figure out if this is okay or not. Like, America, you need to get on that shit, because a lot of women are like getting abused and God knows worse and because of this kind of shit.
I wish I would have had definitely something like that, because, you know, I just didn't, you know, for me, I didn't know like, oh, well, this is what a toxic relationship looks like and this is what a non-toxic relationship looks like, and I just didn't.
Yeah, because it's not like cartoons, where it was like when the bad person would walk into the room, the evil music would play, the lights would flicker, like freaking like fire would be in the back. Like,
the lights would flicker on and off, and the walls would ooze green.
Like,
I hope you guys know the reference. If you don't,
you fucking better. But like, you know, it's like, in this, like, this is real life. It's like, that kind of shit doesn't happen. So it's like, you gotta play Blue's Clues in real life to figure that shit out. Like, the first clue is a bruise. The second clue is verbal abuse. The third clue is they smell like Axe body spray.
God damn it, Monica.
These three clues. This person's an asshole. Let me not be with him.
Stay away.
Which, that's another thing. A lot of like just random, a lot of douchey guys, I'm sorry, do be wearing Axe. I'm sorry. It's like, that's like the douchebag scent.
I feel like the anthem for like dudes like that be like, just, I'd be like, oh, like, let it die, let it shrivel up and
but like,
just back, like, get out of here. Not an anthem, but more like a get the fuck out song.
But like, back to what we were talking about, like with comparing, like, that's just like a huge no-no. Like, there are two people you never compare your girlfriend or wife to or whatever, and that is your mom or your ex.
Yes, and like, I've never had the mom thing, but I've definitely had the ex-girlfriend
I've definitely thing. Like dated some mama's boys who, they were like, well, you cut the sandwich this way, but my mom cuts it this way, and I'm just like, then go fucking be with your mom then.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god. I remember...
And I wipe my ass this way, so...
And I remember I had a friend, thank god this wasn't me, but like, I had a friend who was telling me she was in a relationship, and like, this dude had like just broken up from like a 5-6 year relationship. Well, she had broken up with him. And she said that, like, he had never been in an argument with his girlfriend, his ex-girlfriend. And so, like, she said when they got into, like, one little argument, he, like, flipped out. It was just like, oh, no, we're arguing. You're gonna leave me, aren't you? You're gonna do this. And I was like, the fuck?
No.
And he just, like, she said he just, like, did not know how to handle it. And it was just like, whoa.
See?
Yeah, see?
Somebody was being a little too submissive, you know what I mean?
Apparently. Because she was
I'm
just
like, how you not argue?
She was like, it's healthy to argue. Like, if you're not arguing, it's because somebody's not telling them how they truly feel. Like, you're gonna have...
It didn't work out, so something was wrong.
Yeah, and apparently she was probably sick of him, probably because of being submissive like that.
Yeah.
Because it's like, nobody agrees with everything.
No, and that's the thing. Nothing is meant to be perfect. No, you're gonna have issues. It's not, but here's the thing. It's not even. My mom has always instilled in me that. Oh, sorry. No,
Lord,
sorry. Sorry. Take two. No, my mom has always instilled in me, like, just knowing your worth in that sense, as well as just knowing, like, hey, arguments are an important part of a relationship. Yeah, like, it's supposed to be, you know, it's important. You know what I mean? It's because it just makes a weird, almost like it's a weird way of saying it, but it feels natural. It feels real. Because if you just sit there, you guys have never had an argument, there's never been a little back and forth spat, something's wrong with that.
Yeah, somebody is not being honest with their feelings.
It's a healthy thing. It's healthy. You know, my mom has told me that all the time. Like, it's a healthy thing. It does not mean that somebody is getting a divorce unless it's like really bad and y'all have been trying.
And that's another thing I was about to say. It's one thing to have disagreements. Now, if you guys are having full blown like yelling and like shouting, and throwing shit, that's not healthy. That's not okay. Y'all should just break up at that point, honestly, because that's someone's gonna get hurt. But I think,
and that's the thing too. Like, don't feel bad if you and your significant other need to maybe go to a bit of counseling because it may have gotten to that point.
Yeah,
you know, because I think it's important to at least be like, especially if you're married to someone, saying that you have tried everything. Y'all have gone to counseling. Y'all have tried to talk it out. You really tried, and it's still not getting any better. Then yeah, you may need to just go ahead and cut your losses. But I think that that's something that my parents have always put in me, is with me and your mother, like, we more than likely have tried everything. It had to be something real crazy for us to just not work. You know?
And kind of like a side note on what you were saying, like, because I've been watching this therapist react to like videos on YouTube lately, so it just reminded me of him too. It's like for example, couples that be like, oh, we're gonna stay together for the kids, and he's like, I always find that really interesting because it's like, you're not saying you want to stay together because you know, deep down still care about this person or this or that. Like, it's almost like you're trying to find some kind of excuse almost to not break up with them, because I'm telling you right now, even though I've never been a kid of divorce, but like, if I would rather my parents be separated than in the house with all that tension and them always yelling and fighting and just being unhappy. I'd rather y'all just be apart. I don't want to be in the same house. I don't want to be around that. And like, literally everybody that I've known whose parents have done that crap until they like were 18 and then they divorced, like every kid I've known who's been in that situation has told their parents, like, it's about damn time. Why did it take you this long to do this?
Because you weren't happy then, and you sure as hell ain't happy right now. Because you feel like because it's almost like your kids also telling you too, y'all aren't happy together. You need to separate. But also, why did you wait this long to do it? Like,
we did it because of you.
Nah, you could have found happiness and gotten beat down by someone better.
Don't put your marital. God dang it, Rocket. like don't be putting your marital problems on your children like it's their fault now, because that's kind of what you're doing. That's like when it's like when people are like, oh my god, this relationship is terrible, let's have a baby, that'll fix everything. Now that baby's born into this world with a damn job. Now that baby is like is tasked with keeping y'all together. That's a lie. Don't do that. Like, don't do that to that baby. That baby ain't asked to be born and asked to be in this bullshit. Lord, which I guess final question I have for this segment, then we'll go to the fourth one. Alright, so what are things that you shouldn't do when you meet your boyfriend's ex? Which I'm gonna just start this off by
why
saying,
are you meeting them?
That was literally I was about to say. Like, first of all, why the fuck do I? Which I know some people who are like that. They were like, I want to sit down and meet, and like have a sit down with your ex, and I'm just like, why?
Unless they had a child together.
Yeah, no.
Like, no. I'm sorry. I don't want to meet them.
No.
I have nothing to say.
I
don't think I would even I would even go as far as, let's say that they, broke it off just due to mutual terms and they wanted you to just meet them because they're friends now. I still wouldn't really even be comfortable with that because I'm just like at one point in time.
No.
It's just like, to me, it's like at one point in time, y'all dated. And
y'all probably fucked.
Y'all probably fucked, and I'm okay. I don't want to meet them.
Which, now, if you're friends with your ex, I have an issue with that too. I'm not saying you gotta be a bitch towards them, but if you're talking to them on the regular and hanging out with them on the regular and shit like that, I have a problem.
I have a problem with that too. I'm not a huge fan of that. I'm like,
You're not.
I'm like,
over
you
them.
shouldn't be. That's exactly what that tells me. You're not really over them. There's obviously something up, even when you say there's not. But it's just like, I'm not cool with that. Because for me, and I've made this very clear, I'm not friends with any of my exes. I haven't talked to these dudes in years for a reason.
It's one thing if I'm in the grocery store and I see you, I might wave or say hi, but that's about it.
That's about it, because especially if we mutually...
Yeah, like, if you fuck me over, I'm gonna act like you don't even exist.
You don't exist. Yeah, in my world, you don't exist. But if it's like a mutual thing where maybe they move, or, it's some ish like that, that's one thing. Because I know there's always those instances where, like, say you and your boyfriend are walking around somewhere and they run into an ex.
Like, Brandon? Is that you? Oh my gosh.
Oh, Jessica.
And if he responded like that, I would turn to him and be like, excuse me?
I'd be like, oh, hey.
See,
your response better be fucking bland.
Which this kind of goes with like the last question I just asked with the whole like comparing ex things. Like I've even had guys who like I've asked that question before, and they're like, if a guy is comparing you to an ex, he's not over with you. Like he's not over that ex. And it's the same when like you meet the ex. It's like if he's overly excited and like this and that trying to catch up
for you to meet her.
Like he's not over her.
Like, she's so great. Oh my god, I'm like, well, she's so great. Well, why aren't y'all together?
So, if by some reason the stars aligned and you were face to face with his ex and you had to talk with her, how do you think you should handle that? Or things you should and shouldn't do?
I still stand by I wouldn't, but if I had to.
If you, like, say you and your man was, like, grocery shopping or some shit, and she, like, bumped her cart into y'all's or just, like, right in your face, like, you couldn't miss it, and, like, she goes, Brandon? Skylar, is that you?
Yeah, my name's Rocket, so we all know each other. Peace.
Well, I guess since I'm the more cordial one, I guess I'll answer this question.
I would be nice. I'd be like, oh, who's this?
Well, it's like this. It's like a balancing game you gotta do, because it's like you can't come off overly friendly, because then it's like you're fake. Everyone knows you're being fake.
Oh my god, who's this? Mm-hmm.
But then you can't be
doing that now.
But then you can't be super clinging on your boyfriend either, because then that just comes off like you're kind of insecure.
I feel like for me, I would just act like myself, which is I'd just be like, oh, hey, what's up?
I'd be like, hi.
I'd be like, hi.
Hi, well, bye.
I'm like, hi, okay. Are we? I would look up at my boyfriend and be like, "Are we done here?"
You know, like, so why the fuck was this hoe here?
What is a pretty big grocery store? I'm like,
this is the only grocery store in the tri-state area.
Yes, that's some bullshit. She knew we were here.
You text her, didn't you?
I wouldn't be rude, but I would just be myself, which is just like, oh, hey, you know.
I would say hi and leave.
Yeah, I would just be like, hi, bye. I'd be like, oh, hey, it's so great seeing you and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah. How do you know? I'm like, oh, yeah.
I remember this one girl I know who I haven't seen her in a minute since my college days. She was a cool chick though, but she was saying that because she lives in Florida, that's where she's from. But when she was down there, she was telling me how she used to date this like very abusive guy. Like he hit her a few times, but it was like more emotionally and verbally abusive. It was more put downs than like physical violence.
But he had hit her before.
Yeah.
Okay. And
so she had said like she finally luckily left him, and like he kept trying to get her back, but she never went back to him. And the dude she's with now, she's been with for like a minute now. If they still together, this probably make like 4 or 5 years. But she was saying one time they were at some like art festival in Florida, and like they were walking, and like it was her boyfriend, and like her boyfriend's friend. And, like, they were walking around drinking and just, like, having a good time or whatever. And while walking past, he ran into, like, her ex, the abusive ex, and he was now with another girl. And they were glaring at her, and, like, the new girl was, like, eyeing her up and down, like, And, like, as they walked past. But then, like, later on, because, like, she said her boyfriend at first was kind of a little bit drunk. So he kind of was like a little bit out of it and didn't see it at first. And then she said this dude had the audacity, like the ex had the audacity to like message her, like, hey, I saw you, you still looking good and this and that. And then like she ignored it and she didn't tell her boyfriend because she knew she knew what he would do. But like when they were leaving and walking back to the car, they saw him in the distance walking to his car. And he had kind of sobered up a little bit at that point, and he was like, wait, is that motherfucker who was...
Oh, God, no!
And he was, like, about to, like, she was like, she had to calm him down, because he was, like, him and his boy was about to, like, go jump him.
That hit you?
Yeah, he was like, is that piece of shit? And, like, she had to kind of, like, he's not even worth it. And she told him that, like, yeah, he tried to message me and shit, but I ignored, like, it's not even worth it. Like, he was about to go off. That shit, I was like, damn. And she said, like, her new boyfriend now has a criminal record. Not for, like, fighting or something like that, but I forgot it was something, like, I think stealing or something like that. So he really couldn't be getting in trouble. And she was just like, bro, chill.
God.
I know. It's like, don't do it. I know you want to, but don't.
Be good.
Please.
I'd be like, no.
See, so moral of this story is fuck exes. Your boyfriend's exes. Fuck them.
Yeah, they're musty farts.
I'm just messing. They're probably nice people, maybe, but
some yes, and some not so much. Some can just rot in the pits of hell, and then others they're redeemed, but you know, we don't need to talk.
It's like get out with you. Well, on I guess a lighter, kind of kookier note, our last segment is for the naturalistas out there listening, or people who just like hair, or just curious about like black hair care.
No naturalistas.
But there's some people who aren't natural, but like just like hearing and watching black hair care videos.
No, you're not welcome here. Get out.
Well, dang.
No.
Don't worry, you're welcome on my side of the podcast, people. You don't have to go to Rocket's stank booty side.
I have chicken nuggets.
They smell like ass.
They kind of stale. Nah, y'all is welcome. Come learn the ways of Mama Oti.
So this segment, I'm ignoring you. This segment is about like natural hair trends that were like super popular and everybody was doing them, but like for us, it just was a no-go. No bueno. Mm-hmm. Oh, do you want to start it off, Rocket, where it's like you say one, I say one?
Or you want me to start? Are we going with products or hair first?
What do you mean?
Or are all of the above on what just ain't
Yeah,
right?
This is about products, hair techniques.
Okay. I'm gonna hit on the first one for me. 4C hair, Bantu knots. That's gonna be a motherfucking hell to the no. Just bad.
Which I'll kind of slide in a little bit on the Bantu knots because like I don't do them much either, and I have like 3C4A hair. I don't do it much. And it's mostly because them bitches never be dry.
Thank you. They never be dry. And then I will say this. I had one time when the grace of God, one time when the Bantu knot actually looked good. Other than that, they've all been trash.
Like only times
they're either just not dry or they just look bad.
The only times I've successfully done them is when I've done it on blown out hair, and when like I used I used enough product to where my hair was like slightly saturated but not drenched. That is the only time I've been able to get them to work. Otherwise, I don't do. Like I don't.
Just that one time for me. Yep.
Alright, well, I'll start off on mine. First on my list is the coconut oil trend.
Boo.
Like, I remember, which honestly, I give slight appreciation to this trend because it helped me realize that I am allergic to coconut oil. Now, like, because coconut oil, everybody was on it for like a long time. Like, oh, use it to pre-poo, use it to detangle, use it to like cure cancer. Like,
wipe your butt.
Like, coconut oil could fix everything. And so, like, you know, I was early natural, and I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna try it because, you know, why not? And when I was trying it, and this was something that's like my hair has been doing for a minute, but I just was kind of dumb and just did not pay attention to like it was a big deal. I was just like, whatever. So I would notice sometimes when I would like, even after I've washed my hair, like I would sometimes like my head, like my scalp would just feel so sore. Like almost like somebody was like beating the shit out of my like scalp and like my skull, and then like it would hurt. And I'll be like, ow, like, you know, my scalp is sore. That's weird, but I was stupid and ignored it. So I noticed with the whole coconut oil thing, when I would do that, my head would feel like that more often. And I'm just like, ow, what is going on? And that's when like articles and stuff would start coming out of people having coconut oil allergies. And so I tested that theory, and so I stopped with the coconut oil, but also I like looked over my products that I was using and like, okay, let me take out everything that has coconut oil and let me see something. So I did that, and my scalp didn't feel that thing, like that pain like it did. And I was like, okay. And then when I used the products that had coconut oil in it, it hurt. So I was like, oh, I guess I'm allergic to coconut oil. So, fuck that whole coconut oil trend, but luckily that was only the worst symptoms I've had.
Yeah, I don't got the allergy. No, that definitely makes
And plus, it made my hair, and plus it didn't help my hair feel moisturized at all. My hair felt dry as shit after I used it. Well, your turn, Rocket.
Yeah, I definitely never had no allergies. I don't got that problem. I'd say for me, it's gonna be Cantu products. I remember when I first started using that in my early stages of being natural. And, it was fine at first. But as my hair had gotten, it grew out of the damaged ends. And my hair was, getting better and growing out more. The Cantu wasn't doing shit. But long story short, wasn't doing shit for my hair. And I realized it pretty quickly, like using some of the products. I was like, especially the shampoo and conditioner was just really drying on my hair. And I even used I think they also have the styling gel too for Cantu, and I tried that. Had a bunch of flakes in my hair. It just looked crazy. And so eventually I had switched over to something that was better on my hair, like Camille Rose or some Shea Moisture products, and noticed a huge difference. So I'm gonna say on Cantu, for at least for me. I can't speak for other people, but I definitely say that's a no.
For me, it's funny because like at first, when I was like early natural, I used to I would stand by Cantu. Like that shit, like my hair used to love it. I always used to have like such pretty like defined twist outs and like flexi rod sets when I used I think it was like a leave-in as well as like a styling cream. It was like a 2-in-1 type thing. Like my hair loved it. But then like as my hair started growing longer, and it's like for those of you who've been natural for a minute, especially who've grown out their hair, you probably know this, where it's like one day your hair will just flip the switch.
Yep.
And it's just like all the products that your hair used to love all of a sudden hates it now. And
I feel like
that's what happened with me.
Cantu.
Yeah, because like when I started using it, like it just flipped, and it's like one day I started using it and like it just would flake all the time, and it's like I never had flaking from them before, so I was like, what the fuck? But all of a sudden, like it just seemed like my hair just was not taking it anymore. So unfortunately, I had to say bye bye to Cantu. Sorry, Cantu. We had our times.
Rest in peace. We bury you by the seaside, Cantu.
Like, bye-bye. Alright.
You were good once.
And never again.
Never again.
Alright,
go ahead, Monica.
Another hair trend that like a lot of naturals were using that like I tried to be on board and realized this fucked up my hair was the whole Denman brush trend.
Bro, I knew you were gonna bring that. I could feel it. I was like, she gonna say the D word.
Yup.
And not the good kind.
That goddamn Denman brush. That started my first natural hair setback, using that brush to detangle. I was like, I remember all the naturals were using it to detangle. They were like, oh, it gets your curls so clumped and defined and da-da-da-da-da. And so when I started using it, this was at a time when I was in college and like I was testing, like getting ready to take the, what we call in my school the test of skills to get into the graphic design program, which I majored in college. And it was such a very cutthroat, like selective program. Like most people who applied didn't get in. So I was like, okay, I want something that's gonna help make my hair really easier. And I didn't have that much money because I was a college student and my natural hair skills were not on point yet, because I think I was maybe like a year and a half or two in. No, I wasn't even 2 years. I had to been like a year and a half into being natural again. And so I didn't have the skills to do like box braids or twists like I know how to do now. So I saw people on YouTube like, use the Denman brush. It cuts detangling time in half and it clumps your curls and da-da-da-da-da. And of course I fell on the bandwagon. And a few naturals I had watched had even said like, for those who have really thick hair, here's a tip to like take out some of the combs so it's not so like rough on your hair. And I did that. Now, I've used the Denman brush, And again, I was newly natural and I was stupid and I couldn't see these signs. Like, that was when it was just like, I thought just the fact that my hair was natural, my hair was healthy. Whereas, like, I didn't realize that there's more to it than that. And so one day, like, this was like months after me using this. Like, I'm talking like maybe at least 4 or so months. And I was washing my hair and I was detangling it. And I noticed when I looked at my hair, like when I was putting it in twists, like probably like 3 inches from like my scalp, like that hair was like really plump and thick and juicy. But then the rest of my hair, when I like looked down and like it was getting towards the end of the twist, like it was very thin and stringy and just didn't have as much life as the roots. And I was just like, when I watch other natural hair girls, like their twists don't look like this. Like, what's going on? And that is when I found out I had extreme breakage from that damn brush. And again, I was like, when I would do it, like I had a lot of hair coming out, but again, I was stupid. Like, oh, well, that's just shed hair. No, girl. That was not all shed hair. Some of that shit was breakage from that damn brush. And it took me like a year and a half, 2 years for me to grow my hair back just from that setback. So for me, like, I still have the Denman brush in my thing, and I mostly use it on my mom's hair, because, like, my mom's hair is, like, 3B, 3C when I do her hair, and her hair is really silky, or when I freaking, like, have my hair straight. Otherwise, I do not touch that damn brush. It can burn in hell, and I wouldn't care.
Dante's Inferno for the Denman.
Exactly. Alright, your turn, Rocket Pocket.
So oddly enough, I'm gonna hit on, I wouldn't even say oddly enough. For me, twist outs. So yeah, I'm gonna hit on it.
This hurts.
In the
twist out, don't listen to her, baby. What? She don't mean what she say, baby.
Just listen to me, child. Listen. Mary Madonna. I'm sorry. Sorry. Look at Porco Rosso. Anyway, twist outs. Okay. So I have a love and hate for them. So I will definitely say it's not like a don't, but it's like I'm in the middle about it. So sometimes with my hair, it definitely in the early parts, twist outs were definitely hell on earth for a while, because I still had a lot of like straight pieces of hair, so it didn't look as nice.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Yeah, it didn't look as nice in my early parts of being natural. Now, when my hair was longer, because now I'm part of the Baldy crew, but when my hair was longer, definitely by the time I had cut out all of the dead hair, especially the relaxed ends, twist outs were awesome. And I used to do like the really chunky twist outs. Sometimes I do little medium sized ones. And when I take them out, they'd always, like, my hair would always look really cute. I will say I had moments though where I don't know if I rushed it or it was the product that I used. Either majority of the time my twist outs would look bomb as fuck, but then other times, like on rare occasions, they would just look bad. Like something was just like, I don't know what this is. But when I think back on it, I'm like, you know what? It's not the twist out fault. I think it's because, okay, I'm trying to twist my hair and maybe I dyed my hair like recently. So the hair's not acting right like it used to, because, you know, bleach really messes with your curl pattern, or it can really dry your hair out. You know, so those were some of the issues I was having when I would do my twist outs. It'd be like, okay, the root of the twist out looks really cute, but the ends look awful. And I felt like that was because of the bleach and the like dyed hair. So really,
yeah.
I give love to twist outs, but I've definitely had moments where the twist outs kind of fucked me over a little bit. And mostly it was because either it was my fault or it was the products I was using. So it's a love-hate.
I will say,
but mostly love.
I respect you saying that though, because like I will say with me, I've definitely had to graduate to 3-strand twist outs, because like 3-strand twist out, that is my go-to natural hairstyle. I wear like 90% of the time, but I definitely had to graduate to learning how to do that, because when I used to do regular twist outs, like especially if I went to bed and they were wet, like I sleep like a maniac. So
yep, me too.
So look forward to that, future husband, wink. But like I would wake up and my twists would be flat and all over the place, whereas like the 3-strand twists are a little bit more thicker and girthier, so it's like, okay, they can handle my wacky sleeping. So I'll tip my hat off to what you were saying.
Side note, just so y'all know, but like me and Monica sleep in the number 4. If that's
we sleep ballet pirouette position. like knee up.
Because I had this conversation with Monica. Like, yeah, knee up. Like one knee up, one leg down, one arm here, one body probably slightly twisted in a weird angle.
Yeah, like one of my arms is underneath my pillow, and the other one either like I'm sleeping on my hand, or my hand is right beside my head.
Yep.
It's gonna suck when we're pregnant one day.
I literally call it sleeping like a damn possessed demon.
When we're pregnant one day, it's gonna suck ass and we can't sleep on our stomachs.
Yeah, we're gonna have like phone calls. I'm like, bro, can you sleep? Nah, man.
No, bro. Like, I don't mind sleeping on my side. Like, side's okay, but like the belly is like, that's my favorite.
It'd be the belly for me.
Yep.
The belly never stirred me wrong. Because that's literally how I go to sleep. Like I agree with Monica. I can sleep on my side if I have to, but I know they say it's really better if you're pregnant to sleep on your back. Personally,
no, they say you're supposed to sleep on your sides when you're pregnant.
Oh.
Yeah, they say sleeping on your back, especially as the baby gets bigger. They say early on in pregnancy it's fine, but they say when you like further along, like the baby, the pressure can like, and at first I thought this was a lie, so I had to Google this, and they said it was true. It can like cut off circulation on like a vein or some part of your body, so that's why they say they recommend sleeping on your sides.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm glad. All right. Well, anywho, so
yeah.
That's what I fucking said. Definitely. Well, and that's the thing. I don't even like sleeping on my.
I don't like sleeping on my back anyway, so that's fine.
Yeah, I don't like sleeping on my back anyway, so I won't have that problem. But yeah, I can do the side. I just don't want to.
I will gravitate to like my sides. I'm fine, but it's just I don't like that being my only option.
Yeah, because I'm gonna be doing that like turning and stuff, which yeah. So. Let's
see what else is on my list. Ooh, okay.
Sorry, we got into the sleeping topic.
Sad. Another trend that. It's not that this trend didn't work for me, because it worked. It's just cumbersome, and I don't do it much because it's just a lot of work to do this. And that is the rice water trend. So I used to do this trend like all the time, but like I stopped doing it for a few reasons, just because it's annoying to prep. Like, unless you're cooking some rice that day, like, you gotta do all this where it's like you gotta have the water.
I never did that.
See, if your hair likes protein, I recommend. If your hair doesn't like protein, I either wouldn't do it or I wouldn't do it that often, like once a month. But my hair likes protein, so I used to do this every wash day. But like the issue with, and I had decent results, I guess. Like I didn't notice any huge growth from doing it, but like it's a lot to prep, like I said, unless you're cooking rice that day and you can use the water
you didn't have
from
like
that.
a rope for hair to like lasso. It wasn't growing like that.
I mean, like, because it's supposed to help with like breakage and help promote growth, and I didn't notice anything dramatic, I don't think.
Which I wonder if like you put it on your vagina hairs and it like grew.
Why would you
and then
do
you
that?
Made a rope out of the ideas.
Yeah, it's getting late when we're recording this and Rocket is drinking, so I should have gave that pretext before we even started this, not when we're nearing the end of this, but Rocket's tired and drunk.
I'm drinking beer.
Lord.
Good.
But
nah, like I never tried the rice water thing.
It's okay. It's just like what I kept trying to say is it's
like
a lot of
overly
prep.
hyped.
It's not overly hyped. Like I do think my hair did feel nice after doing it, but like I was trying to say it's a lot of it's a lot of prep just to get it done unless you made rice that day and have the water you can use. Otherwise, you have to like put it in this like little like I always used to put it in pantyhose, just like cheap pantyhose from the dollar store, just to make this a little bit easier. So it's like I will put the rice in that, which first you're supposed to rinse the rice, but then you like put it in that and then like soak the rice in water for like at least a day. And second of all, the smell is horrendous. It smells like ass. Like, I commend the naturals who do those, like, onion juice baths. Like, I refuse to do those type of, like, hair treatments because I'm just like, I'm not trying to be funky. Like, I'm not doing that. I hear people say it works, but I just don't want to do it. So, but the smell smells like ass. Like, that's bad enough. But then also, too, it's cold unless you warm it up. It's cold, but then also application is very messy if you're doing it outside of the shower. And especially when you're doing it in winter, like the colder months, it's like, I'm not trying to get pneumonia. So it's like, I don't hate it, but it's just a lot of work. So it's just like, if I'm like feeling it, like I'll do it, but I really don't do it much now because it's just so much work to do. And I'm kind of spontaneous when I wash my hair. Like I'll say I'm gonna do it, but then it's like, I don't feel like it. I'm gonna not do it. I'll do it later.
Real.
So I say that on rice water.
Well, I've never done it, so there you go for me. But anywho,
your turn, Rocket. Got any mo?
Yeah. I'm gonna hit on finger coils. Yeah, finger coils. That is. I just rest in peace to my fingers because no. That's all I'm gonna say with that one. That's just a solid no. If you can do it, by all means. I don't know if you are just made different.
That is some Undertale determination like no other.
Yeah, that's determined. Like you obviously are clearly determined. You know what I mean? The only time I think I would ever get something like that done if my hair was long, I would honestly have somebody do it for me.
I'm about to say don't. Like if you were tired of doing it, and like before Rocket shaved her hair, like Rocket's hair wasn't as long as mine. And so if your hair wasn't as long as mine and you were sick of doing it, imagine me. I got like 1/4 of my hair and I was just like, this ain't it, son.
Now here's the thing. Was it cute?
Yeah,
was it defined?
It was cute. Yeah.
Yes, it was. Is it worth it? No.
When I looked at the clock, and it literally took me almost 2 hours
just
to do a fourth of my hair. I was like, this ain't gonna work.
This ain't it.
Nope, I'm gonna turn this into twist.
My arms were starting to hurt.
Yep.
I got tired. I tried watching movies to pass the time. Two movies were done.
See?
That's a problem.
I can't.
No, hell froze over. Like, just, it's not worth
At least
it, guys.
people with like super short hair, like if you did grow your hair out, for example, they have that like one sponge that you can like rub on your head and it'll twist. Like, unless your hair is like that, I wouldn't do it because it's too much work.
Which honestly, and that was one thing I might speak on a little bit too. So I don't know. I'm gonna just tell you this, Monica, because since your hair is longer and everything.
Is the sponge a lie?
Okay, so I personally feel like the sponge is both great and not so great.
No.
Like, people prefer the tennis racket one.
I've seen that.
Has like a little, and those do work. I've even used the glove ones too, where it has like the sponge on the hand one, and some people think that one's a lot better. But
I've seen that too, yeah.
Here's the thing. When you first buy the sponge and you use it on your hair, like you put in the right products and you're using it to curl your hair, it looks good. Like, it really defines the coils. Like, you know, there's some little spots you may have to go back over with your own like finger, but it's really not a lot that you need to do. Whereas, sorry.
It's a good thing you are in a relationship, because otherwise you would not get no man. And even him, even so, I question his sanity.
Hey boy. But then when it comes to when the brushes start wearing down, like it doesn't even take that. Almost like when it's after a week of using it, you almost feel like you need to buy another one, because then now your curls are not defined as they used to be. So the sponge is kind of, it's kind of the sponge I would say no to. I think people would be happier probably with the tennis racket one, which like it looks like a tennis racket. That one, in my opinion, because it's plastic, I think would last people a lot longer than the sponge, because the sponge just starts ripping and falling apart pretty much after a week, and your curls are no longer really defined. So, to each his own on that topic with the sponge versus plastic honeycomb racket.
Well, damn.
Yeah, so,
Well, for my toy, this was a trend, definitely, like, when I was, like, early natural, like, probably around, like, 2012 or so, like that. Mm-hmm. Tried it for about, 6 to 8 months? Something like that. I don't remember. And I had mixed results with this. And this is the Hairfinity pills. If anybody remembers when that was a trend. Black China was supporting the fuck out of this trend. But like, so for those of you who've never heard of Hairfinity before, this was like, and I'm pretty sure they probably still sell their products, honestly, but the hype was huge when I was first natural. So basically they're vitamins that supposedly, I forget, it's some growth in it that is like, that's in like a lot of foods we get, and I should have probably looked this up before the podcast, but whatever, you can Google it yourself.
Yeah.
But like, it's supposed to be a more concentrated amount of that chemical, whatever, that we get in our foods. It's supposed to be more concentrated to promote hair growth and nail growth and like skin health and stuff like that.
Chemical X.
What the frick? So it's supposed to be more concentrated like that, and I believe you would take 2 a day. I want to say it was like 2 a day, like in the morning and at night. And it's supposed to, quote unquote, make your hair not only feel good from the inside, but also grow it. So I did this because I saw Jackie Aina, who I love Jackie Aina, follow her. But this is when I was early following her too, and she was taking it for a little bit, and then she stopped making videos. And I don't know if anybody knows that she made a video commenting on this. Like, please let me know in the comments down below. But like, I didn't see that she like did any more follow-ups after like her 3rd or 4th month taking it. So like, I was just curious about that. But like, I started taking it, and I will say I noticed my hair felt softer from taking it. Now, in terms of like hair growth, did I notice anything more than usual? No. And, you know, I was more so taking it because, like, the same thing if you take, like, biotin or, like, hair, skin, and nail pills, like, so those type of pills only work like that in terms of hair growth is if, like, you're missing that chemical, like, or that biotin or whatever from your day-to-day, like, food intake and stuff anyway. So, like, say, for example, your hair naturally grows, like, a half an inch a month, but, like, you eat like shit, and so you don't get the vitamins to help that one, like that half an inch grow, so your hair only grows a fourth of an inch. That's what those kind of pills do. It's to make up for what you're not getting so it grows its natural length. Now, what people think, and is not what it's gonna do, is if your hair naturally grows at a half an inch, it's not gonna make your hair grow an inch. And that's not how your body works. That ain't gonna happen. So that's all it does. It just fills in the gaps from what you're missing with your food. So I just did it just to kind of see, was I missing anything in like my like day-to-day eating habits? And overall, I didn't notice any like hair growth or anything, but my hair did feel nice after taking it. Now, well, I will say when I noticed that after like doing it for a few months, I was like, okay, I'm not really noticing any results, so I'm gonna just stop taking it because blah. Now, I will notice, after I stopped taking it, freaking, this was only for, like, maybe, like, a few days, but, like, my skin, and I never have, like, breakouts or anything on my face. If I have breakouts, something's definitely going on internal, but my skin was just, like, breaking out. Like, I was getting more bumps than usual, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, I don't like that. I don't know if it's just because I abruptly just stopped taking it or what, but my body did not like it. So, just beware if you do take Hairfinity. I don't think it's worth the hype, but if you want to try, then go for it.
Beware or be scared.
I only got one more on my list. What about you, Rocket?
Yeah, one more from me too.
Alright, so you do, and then I'll do my last one.
Yeah, so note to self, don't do anything Monica tells you.
Excuse me?
Don't be getting the hair pills.
What the heck?
I never did those, honestly. I thought about it at one point in time, but I was just like, yeah, I'm good. Because well, you know, I take that back. I did do the biotin drops, or like, I don't know, certain vitamins I take might have like biotin or something like that, but
yeah, so that's pretty much the same as mine.
I guess. Anyway,
whatever.
I would say for me, my next to last is wash and goes for me. Not next to last. This is my last one. Wash and goes.
See, I'm gonna have
That's
to.
all I'm gonna say.
I'm gonna have to side-eye you on this.
Monica, you can suck.
But then again, we do have different hair texture, so it's like, I get it, but at the same time, wash and goes is like the hairstyle that I do when it's just like, I really just don't feel like doing anything, and I just need to get going. Like, I either will do a wash and go or a slick back bun. So, that hurts my soul.
Slick back bun. Yeah, no.
Yeah, easy for you to say, Miss Cue Ball.
Ball.
Well, explain, Rocket. Why do you not like to wash and go?
I just said it. Wash and go.
Yeah.
Horsey, big hair. But
Star Puppy made it work.
Okay, you know what? No, don't start with that. Okay? I love you, Star Puppy, but no.
Star Puppy, Shizzy Doodoo, Nappy Food TV.
No.
They've all have 4C hair and successfully do wash and go.
Slip book. Well, I don't know. They must have sold their soul or something like that, because that's just a no from me, dog. Okay, I've tried. And it always looks bad. It just looks bad, and it just looks like it almost looks like, especially when it dries, it looks matted. Even after I've like detangled it and everything, it still just looks eh. And I'm like, I don't like this. So I'm gonna say peace and no. No, thank you.
I will say you might just haven't found the products that work for it yet.
I said no.
Look, cause Star Puppy was preaching that same shit like you, and then she found her combo and was like, "Oh, wash and goes are actually really good." Look, don't be blaming wash and goes cause your ass can't do.
Whatever.
Shoot, even Star Puppy when she which if y'all not watching Star Puppy, you should check her out. I like her. Danielle's cool. Hi Danielle, if you're watching. Hi Danielle. But like when she like finally like went to a stylist to like cut off all her damage, and like that was literally one of the first things her hairstylist was like, "Have you tried a wash and go?" And she was like, no. And she was like, why not? And she's like, because I have 4C hair. And she's like, you can still do it. You just gotta find the right combination of product and technique. Cause like I used to like when I was early natural, I used to not like wash and goes either. I used to think wash and goes were just not for me. It just wouldn't work, and like my curls just couldn't be defined. But then I found the right combo.
Long story short, it don't work for me.
Rocket just hadn't found the right combo of products.
Well, I'm bald now, so
what the heck? Well, unless you're gonna be bald forever, which I doubt that, just because then you have to shave your hair all the time. I mean, look, if you want to shave your hair every few days, that's your prerogative. But eventually, if you do grow your hair out again, and
I won't.
I'm telling you, wash and goes, when you find the right products, it really ain't that hard.
Whatever.
Because it literally took me having to do that, and it took me years. I'm talking like, I didn't start doing wash and goes.
I don't have years, Monica.
Why? You plan on dying tomorrow?
Yeah. The good Lord is taking me.
Nice.
Wash and goes and shit.
What the heck? Again,
for me. Can't speak for everybody else.
I can't wait till one day, like years later, and you find the right combo of products and you go, hey guys, so
Monica,
that thing I said. I'm telling you, literally, that's how it was with me. I literally did not start doing wash and goes till literally 2 years ago. And I've been re-natural again for like 8 years.
If I say that, I may do something. I don't know.
I'm telling you, bro, you gotta find the right combo. That's what it took for me. Even though you and me got different hair textures, it took me the right combo and the right technique.
No.
Cause I used to could not do it. Like my hair was just like, the fuck is this? I have faith in ye.
Whatever.
So my last one I have on my list, which thankfully I didn't get the brunt of this trauma. Luckily I kind of stopped early. Oh, you'll see when I you may know about this situation, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the whole Diva Curl drama that happened.
Diva Curl.
You didn't hear about that?
I might have explain.
Okay, so this was like a year or two ago. Diva Curl, which I never found out if they got that resolved or not. If you guys know in the comments, let me know. But so Diva Curl, like a lot of girls were coming out having issues because they noticed after using Diva Curl's products for a minute that their curls were like getting damaged. Yeah, and it was only a few of their products. It was like the shampoo, and I think it was like the leave-in or something like that. But like a lot of people were complaining for using their products for so long, their curls were no longer the same. And some of these girls were like not even like naturals that used heat a lot. Like some of these weren't even like some of them were like, I don't even touch heat. and their curls were just like fucked up.
Yeah, I just did a little like Google search. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. And
I never used their products. I didn't know, like, you know, I don't know. I've never used Diva Curl before.
I only used them one time, and I didn't like them because, like, I had gotten like the shampoo and stuff like that for free somewhere. I got like a trial sized one from somewhere, and like, I forgot where I got it. Like, somewhere I went, like some
give
store.
It away for free. That's how you know it's bad.
Well, shit, I didn't mind because like their products are expensive,
I know.
and they give you a shit ton, and I'm just like, I don't want to buy this big old thing, and I don't know if I like it, and so I gotten those for free, but then like with my own money, I had bought some like curl cream or something like that to test out, and I tried all three, and I did not like it. Like, I did not like them. My hair felt really dry and brittle, so I chucked it after, like, twice I tried it, and my hair didn't like it.
Scalp irritation, damaged hair,
Yep.
hair loss. Is Diva Curl safe?
Yep. So, luckily, I didn't
People going to court for this shit? Damn.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I wonder has that gotten resolved or not.
Oh, no.
But, like, I'm just glad I kind of got off that before it got worse. Like, thank God. Like, I tried it twice and was like, no, my hair don't like it, so I'm gonna not use it no more. Whereas, like, some girls, because, like, this one YouTuber I watch who actually is from the 757 area, shout out to Jalea Majette. Like, I'm surprised I haven't ran across her, because she lives in the 757 Norfolk area and stuff. I was like, oh, snap. But, I noticed with her hair, like, and she claims, and, you know, this can happen too, because, like, she had her son, and she said she noticed as, like, she was pregnant and had her son, like, her hair changed, which if you look at her older videos for, like, to her, like, current one, well, not current now, because she's been doing a lot of crazy stuff with her hair, but, like, when her hair was still long, her hair, like, dramatically, like, the curl pattern, like, dramatically changed. Like, her hair used to be, like, how, like, my hair is, like, 3C, 4A. Her hair used to look like how my hair looked to, like, very loose, like, 3B, 3C. Like, I don't know if you know YouTuber Jasmine Brown.
Maybe.
You might have seen a picture. She's big on YouTube, but like her hair went from looking like mine to hers.
Whoa.
And it's like, granted, her hair was longer, but like her curls were extremely loose. And she was just like, my hair's just not defined like it used to. And like at first she thought it was just because her hair was getting longer and like the weight of your hair, because that does happen. Like as you get, like as your hair gets longer, the curls will loosen because of the weight. But it was just getting more and more, and she was like, I don't put heat on my hair like that, so I don't know why it's doing that. And she eventually ended up just like cutting all of it off. But like, she's like, I don't know what happened to it.
Yeah.
And I wonder, because she, in a lot of videos, she used Diva Curl plenty of times.
And see,
I don't think she's realized that. No, I was just gonna say, I don't know if she realized that, but I've always kind of wondered that in the back of my head. And I was like, did Diva Curl fuck her hair up?
I'm just looking on, like, just if y'all ever want to look to anybody in like the comments and everything, but like honestly, I just looked on Google just now. And I saw this one girl where her curls were like voluminous, and then she said like a before, right?
Yeah.
Literally, Monica, the after, her hair color looked like it changed.
Yeah.
It looked like really dry and brittle, and her hair looked looser. I'm almost wondering, and maybe, I don't even think this is far-fetched saying this, I almost wonder if there is a little bit of relaxer or something in their product.
And that's what people were suspecting, because it's like, they noticed, like, they were wondering if it's like in the formula, did they change the formula recently and this is a thing? Or is this something that's always been there and just gradually over time?
Yeah, because I noticed, like, you know, when I used to get relaxers, like, you definitely see the damage of relaxers over time. Like, even in a a previous podcast that me and Monica had done, we talked about, I think, where just from, doing relaxers for so long, there's parts of our hair that just don't really grow like it should, or it doesn't look as nice as it should.
Yep.
And that's just due to relaxer damage.
Yeah, because that sodium hydroxide is a chemical that really shouldn't be on skin, let alone hair.
And that was something that popped up when I looked up one of the questions on Google, and that popped up. And I'm like, something's not adding up. I'm like, because I'm looking at these girls' hair, and this lady, I mean, I'm not lying to you, went from a beautiful, like, chocolate brown curls to now it just looks like the color in her hair is faded out. The curls are really loose, and it looks very dry. And it almost looks like somebody was trying to, like, relax her hair. You know what I mean? But it's not like a full relaxer where it's straight. And I'm like, y'all, that's definitely something you could definitely sue somebody for, because that is not okay.
Oh yeah, that's kind of like if you've like seen like what keratin treatments be looking like in people's hair, and that's why I be side-eyeing some people who like be like some salons who be slipping that shit in and don't tell people that. Like that be pissing me off, but like I really hope Diva Curl is not doing some shit like that, because
well, time will tell.
I know, right? Well, on that note, I think we've done it again, Rocket. That brings us to the end of the GAFFest podcast, which so far this has been our longest podcast. We went a whole 2 hours and 5 minutes with this ish, Rocket. But, it's because we've been gone for a minute. We miss you guys, and we had a lot to say.
Thought we'd bring up an extra layer of cheese. And the grilled cheese, sorry. I'm slightly tipsy and a little sleepy. I'm sorry.
Well, thank you guys for joining us for episode 4. We hope you enjoyed it, and we're sorry we were gone for a little bit. We were busy, and
we're adulting. You'll
exactly.
Be all right.
Like, I don't know when we'll be doing the next episode, but it's not gonna be too long, so don't worry.
Yeah, it won't be as long as this for sure, guys. So we'll definitely try to push out something for number 5.
So like and subscribe down below. Comment if you want to add to the conversation we've had, or if you have any more questions or topics you think you might want us to talk about.
Yeah, just let us know in the comments. And hit that bell for post notifications.
Yes, hit that bell. Click that shit.
You can ring my bell. Ring a lick. Because I can't really, I don't want to get copyright.
I know, that's why. I was about to say like another YouTuber's closing outro and be like, oh, I don't want to get sued.
I don't want to get sued for that, so no.
So thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Peace.
I'll do like Markiplier. Bye-bye!
Yeah!